Hey guys, welcome to the first of hopefully many Summer of Chess tournament game review videos that I'm um, making for my games that I play at tournaments, if that makes sense. So today we're gonna go over the ones I played, or I guess I'm going to go over the ones I played today. It is almost 11 p.m., but it is still today. It was May 21st, 2022. It was this Baltimore Game and 60 tournament, 3 rounds. I played in the U1500 section. There's only 2 sections to open in the U1500, and it was organized by DMV Chess. So shout out to them. I'll link them in the comments or in the description. At any point, let's not get too fancy and let's just hop straight into it. So this event had a small turnout. Um, I was told that like usually they expect 30 to 40 people. This time the U1500 section only had like 6 people registered for it. So the first guy I played against was Patrick, good old Patrick man. Okay, and I had the white pieces, and let's see here. We play a Gyoko piano. And usually I'm used to a lot of like knight of six, and then like Gecko pianissimo type of stuff. This is like I like this. This is my bread and butter. Um, but he does this, so then he doesn't play knight of six. So I always go d4 in this case. And after trading, it's interesting. Actually, I was playing an online game where my opponent went check instead. But this is supposed to be bad for black because you're just helping white develop or something. I don't know. But I've also had some like trouble with these like more open positions where white has these 2 pawns in the center. That's sometimes hard to guard. But anyway, I just another thing to note is I'm gonna try to keep this video short. I've had videos I made in the past where I'm going over one game, but it takes like 50 minutes, like 50 minutes for me to go over one game. I'm going to try not to do that this time. Anyway, so he does this, I castle. Then early bishop g4. For some reason, I wasn't expecting this. Um, I mean, it's pretty normal stuff, though. So queen b3, eyeing the pawn, queen f3. And here I kind of go, I think I make my first mistake in the game already on like move 9, which is e5. I play e5 here. I don't think I should play that. I think I should just go 92 and be like, well, everything's defended. There's nothing you can do. And I wouldn't really consider this pawn hanging. Or like, I don't think black should take it. If black takes it, takes, and bam. Oh, no, don't hang your queen. Bam. And like, I guess you go here? This is not what black wants. I don't know. It just doesn't seem very good to me. So black probably doesn't want to take the pawn anyways. But at this point, I think I felt like I really had to get the initiative. Like, I was just like, oh, yeah, I'm already castled. I'm already, I guess I felt like he was playing inaccurately by, like, doing the early bishop g4 and not playing knight of 6 or knight of 6. I don't know. I don't know what was going wrong in my head. But I did play e5. The idea, you want to open up the line to the king. I thought it made sense, but I think much more sense is just defending the knight with the other knight, and then, I don't know, kicking the bishop out eventually? I don't know. But anyway, instead I go e5, and we trade in the center, and then after queen d6, I feel like black isn't in much trouble at all. They can castle either side. I talked to my opponent after the game. He said that he doesn't like castling queenside. But anyway, and like it's kind of it's you have to be a bit careful with developing because like if I just go knight c3, then like bishop h3 happens, and it's kind of unclear. I guess you can just go bishop here, and I guess everything's fine. Well, no, not right there, but I guess everything's fine. Or maybe even like, oh, whoops. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But maybe knight c3 isn't that bad for me. Isn't that bad for me? I don't know. But I go a4. I go a bit crazy because I'm like, oh man, a4, and then his bishop has to move, and like I can infiltrate on the second rank or on the 7th rank. I don't know what I was thinking. A4. Yeah, I mean honestly, I just thought his bishop didn't have that many squares, and he had to push one of his pawns. And then when he didn't, I was like, aha, I got him. But then he just d4, and then now I'm like, and then this was probably the point where I felt like I wasn't doing that well. I think before this point, I was like, oh yeah, I'm winning this. He's not castled yet, and like I guess I felt like I had to make threats. I guess keep the initiative. But after bishop d4, then I'm like, then it's kind of like apparent that my pieces are not developed, and it's kind of bad actually. So like this pawn's hanging. This pawn is under threat. I can't really take this, or else I have to worry about the blowback. But anyway, I move my bishop back, and it's kind of interesting actually how little squares the queen has. It can't go here, or here, or here. Oh, oops, let's not draw those arrows here. It can't go here because of the bishop. It can't go here, or here. So it can really only go here and here. Those are the only two safe squares. But for some reason, I didn't even see that you can just drop the bishop back. I don't know why I didn't see that. But that's what he does. He drops the bishop back. And then I spent a decent amount of time here trying to figure out how can I exploit the king. I think the answer is I can't. Because at first glance, like, even, like, back here, it feels like, wow, like, this piece is kind of loose, this piece is undefended, this piece could be kind of loose in the future or something if something happens. But, like, any sort of tricks, like going here and then here, I mean, if I go queen a5 check, knight c6, defending the bishop, and then that's it. I have no follow-through. Wait, knight c6 defending the bishop, but takes a6. Probably just take. Wait, ooh, I can't take. This is a bit more tricky than I thought, actually. a6 happens. Huh. Wow. Okay. Sorry, I've not looked at this with the engine. And I honestly almost forgot I was recording there. But wow. Okay, a6 to actually kind of that might be good. Like after you trade bishops, and then a6. Oh, a6. And if black takes the pawn, then the knight's hanging, and the rook is hanging, so you can't take the pawn. I'm not sure what black does here actually. Take with the queen. Huh. Okay, maybe I should have gone queen a5 then. I didn't even see a6 at all. I wish I did. Anyway, queen b5, check instead. I don't know what I was thinking here. Exactly. I'm trying to remember what I was thinking. Cause if wait, I know. Cause like if takes, I guess I take like this. I don't. That seems kind of weird. But anyway, I ended up taking a pawn instead. So queen b5 check. C3, and then I take and then the castle. Then I take it and trade. You have to take with the knight, or else the knight hangs. Like You have to take because the queens will be attacking it. And that's a bishop f4. Like, and right now, like, black's pieces are very active, and it's really annoying. Like, this bishop is a monster, I feel like. Anyway, and like, I chose like bishop f4 because I'm losing one of these pawns. I can't hold on to my extra pawn. Oh my gosh, I can't hold on to my extra pawn, so I just go bishop f4 to try to hang on to my center one. And let's see. I thought rook a4 was a super cool move. I was like, oh my god, I'm activating my rook. The a4 a5 push really paid off. Oh my gosh. And then like bishop takes b2 doesn't come with tempo. But we trade, and then now he's having a threat. My opponent has a threat of taking g3 pinned. He would have that threat, which is like one of the reasons why I played rook a4 was that after he takes, he can't take because I'll take. You don't want that. So instead, he goes like this. Well, no, he does take, but then he takes on b2. And then I play knight d2. At this point, I spent a whole lot of time in the tournament. This is a 60-minute game with a 5-second delay. So, and at this point, I have like 20 minutes. He has 40 minutes. So I spent a significant amount of time on the first 20 moves. So I'm trying to play a bit quickly here. I play knight d2. Knight d2. And that just immediately loses. Like, I found the way to lose as super fast. Like, I already don't think this is a very good position. So probably instead of going knight d2, because like the reason why I wanted to move my knight was because like the queens and the rook are eyeing the knight. Like, I'm about to lose this knight. Like, if let's say like I take the pawn and then well, I guess we just trade at that point. And like maybe I can hold this, although this looks pretty dangerous for me. But I don't know. I just felt like I should move the knight, move it here or here to help to defend the pawn. It looks like a good move, except my pieces are too loose and my pawns are overextended and they're not defending. Like and then a simple queen c2. And the game's over. The game is over. Like, I like, whoopsies, I screwed up. And I screwed up pretty badly. So, let me just verify with the engine that I'm not, like, yeah, yep. Minus 4.7. So, I'm dead. So, I tried, but I keep playing, though, for the rest of the game. You see me try to do stuff. So, I take the pawn. He tries to win the d5 pawn. I try to be a bit tricky here. So if he takes with the queen, then I can go... What can I do? Why was I thinking this? If he takes with the queen... I don't know what I was thinking about what happens if he takes with the queen. But I knew that there's one trap where, like, if I take with the rook and he takes my queen, I can take his rook. Wait, no, that's what happened in the game. No. Oh, wait, take like this. Take my rook first, then take his rook, then you get back ranked. So I was trying to think of that stuff, trying to be tricky, but also while trying to play as fast as I can. I sincerely forgot what happens after queen takes. What was my plan? I have no idea what my plan was. I don't. Probably maybe take. No, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know. But anyway. So yeah, whatever happened, we trade all the pieces, and now he has a queen for a rook. Well, then he has a pawn, and now you're gonna see me playing the game, and I'm just playing, and I can't do anything, and I'm just playing the game. I'm playing the game. I'm trying to be tricky though. Trying to be tricky, playing king g4 rather than taking, and whoops. And if king f6, then it's stalemate. Now, actually, no, it's not stalemate. Okay, what was I thinking then? King h6 is not stalemate. Actually, I think it's a forced mate. Huh! My opponent should have played that. I don't know why I thought king f6 was stalemate. Obviously, it's not. Well, at any point, he does this, and now he does. He even under promotes just to prevent a possible stalemate. Good on him. But yeah, and ladder mated. So that was my first game, and I honestly think my mistake. Well, actually, looking back at it now, maybe I put too much emphasis on not playing knight d2. I think I'm okay here. Like even at this point, well, at this point, I should probably go like knight d2. Maybe knight d2. Probably just develop some sort of piece somewhere. I don't know. But this whole maneuver, especially queen b5, I think was a mistake. Once again, I think I just take, and like either rook e1. Actually, no, rook e1, you die immediately. Maybe like just knight d2 again, honestly, and then after it takes, you go here, and now you're down a pawn. Maybe at this point I'm already losing. Maybe after the a4 and a5 is just too slow and everything. I'm not sure. But anyway, that win, or that loss, I mean, was pretty disappointing for me. I think I just didn't handle the opening well, and then I just blundered a fork. So it is what it is, but it is pretty sad, I must say. Okay, so now I'm going to move to the next one. And this is where the tournament gets pretty weird. So there are only 6 people registered for the tournament, but only 5 people showed up. So then there is an odd number of people, and I am actually the only one that lost their game in the under 1500 section. So my opponent won. So me and him are 2 people. The other person whose opponent didn't show up, he's a 3rd person, but he won his game because he got basically a bye. And then the 2 other people drew their game. So that's 5 people. So 5 people. I'm the only one that lost. So I got the bye in the whatchamacallit, in the event. I got the bye in the event. I basically got a bye. But it was super weird though, because not super weird, I should say, but the tournament director wanted like us to still play, like for me to still be able to still play, because I can't. It's a small event, like 8 people in the open section, 6 people in the or 5 people, I guess, in the under 1500. So since it was a small event, yeah, he just felt we agreed that like whoever finished up their game first in the under 1500 section would play against me, but it would be in a shorter game. So they would play a game in 60, and then whoever finished their game first, I would play against them in a game in 30 or a game in 25, depending on how much time we played. So this next game, so with that backstory in mind, this next game was against this lady, Fatima, really nice person. And this is a game in 20. And actually, this game, like, she was about to leave, because she needs to leave the tournament early anyways, but she was just playing a bit before she left. What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is she was like kind of rushing. And it was a game in 20. So it was a really short game, like literally 1/3 the length. Still a 5-second delay, but 1/3 the length of my first game. And she just finished up her second game, but she was the first one. Her and my previous opponent, they played against each other. They just finished theirs. So like, I don't know. It felt very rushed, and it doesn't seem like she was too invested in the game. I mean, we were both playing pretty fast because it's a really short time control. But at any point. Let me just go straight into the game. So, we play Caracan. I love the Caracan. The exchange variation. And knight c3, like, that's, I believe people who are good at chess say that it's anti-positional, because it really is. Because you really want to move the c pawn either to c3 or c4. Usually c3 in exchange variations, c4 in the panel variations. But anyway, so other than that, pretty normal development type of stuff. This was interesting actually, where you go bishop b5 check first, because you don't want your bishop on this diagonal, so you want to like trade the bishop or something. It's an interesting thought. I don't think it really matters. I think the light square bishop is white's good bishop, so you don't really necessarily want to trade it. But anyway, so should play c3, getting the pawn chain connected makes a lot of sense to me. And then this is a move that makes a lot of sense. And I mean, at this point, I'm trying to play fast, but I wasn't really sure what to do. So f4 seemed like a pretty natural move, kind of solidifying my knight there. Kind of creates this backwards e6 pawn that's kind of scary. In fact, the knight could start attacking it pretty easily. But other than that, it's not that bad. But then I go for c5. I think it makes a lot of sense. And then, yeah. I don't know, kind of weird. Actually, this movie is kind of weird. I'm disappointed with myself because the reason why she did queen d3 was to go f3. I should have known that, and I should have gone bishop d6 first to anticipate f3, so then I could go knight g3 or knight knight g3, and then get into the position. But that did not happen. I did not play it. I played c4 instead, and then I went a5. Very passive looking position compared to my pawns, my very advanced pawns, and my knight. But after f3, the knight gets pushed back. But now the dark squares, oh my gosh, they're just begging to be eaten up. So I play knight h5 with the idea of like preventing the knight from going here or the bishop. But instead, she goes g4. I go back. Here, I don't know what the best move is. I might honestly just be to take. Because after I take and then queen b1, yeah, I could have a discovered attack. But then this pawn's hanging. Like, my pawn structure is kind of fragile, it feels like. And then I immediately just hang a pawn. But honestly, we're both moving pretty fast at this point. And she goes b3, which I think is kind of weird. Like, nah, like, a lot of pawn tension happening here. But anyway, we trade and go here. Bishop f2 also doesn't make any sense. But, I mean, how are you going to defend the pawn? The only way to do so is go knight c1. But honestly, it's not like the worst try. Like, just knight c1 and hold everything together and just hope for the best. Pray for the best. But instead, I just take the pawn. Probably here. Well, if I... Oh, whoopsies. Probably, like... knight f4 at some point to attack this backwards pawn. Might be a good idea at some point. I'm not sure. But anyway, we trade, and here I finally get rid of the tension and stop my pawn from hanging, finally. And then put my knight back in the center, because I was really hoping she would take with the f-pawn, because the f-pawn was guarding this square, but now it's not. And then this move just loses on the spot. The queen is overloaded because after trades, I take the knight, starting checkmate. I take the knight? Yeah, it is a knight. It was a knight. And then, yeah, from there, it was like pretty simple. Like, she resigned at this point. because she was in a rush and she needed to go home, and she is outside of the box, the triangle that the pawn is in. So worked out well for me. Although I could not be proud of this win because, well, it was a super short game, and then like it's not even classical. And honestly, I don't even know if this game was rated or if it will count as being rated. I'm honestly not too sure. But anyway, I'm really tired, and I'm getting progressively tired. So let's go hop into the third game then. This game was against Richard Ha. I believe it's just Ha. I don't know if it's pronounced differently. Really great guy. One of the tournament directors. One of the staples in the Rockville Chess Club. Shout out to the Rockville Chess Club, everybody. They're holding quads this summer, and I'm going to be going to at least one of them. So that's super exciting stuff. Richard's a great guy. Definitely check out the Rockville Chess Club. But anyway, so this is my game against him. So this one, so after Fatima left, you would think there'd be 4 players left. Perfect. But Fatima came with this other guy. I forgot what his name was, Justin. So now there was actually only 3 players. So there's the Patrick, who I played in round 1, Richard, and me. And so Richard and Patrick played against each other. So that means I got the bye again. But then Richard was kind enough to agree to play against me in a 30-minute game with a 5-second delay after his game was over. So I think I had a huge advantage coming into this game because he lost the game very suddenly, actually, in a fashion where he thought it looked like he thought he was going to get checkmated, but then he didn't realize that he got checkmated the move right before he was going to checkmate. So I don't know. I mean, for me, I'd be emotionally affected by that. Because our game started like immediately after, like the next minute after. So I feel like I had a big advantage coming up because I was literally just not using my brain at all. I was using my brain, but I didn't have any mental fatigue coming into our game. But despite that, Richard played really, really well, actually. And honestly, I probably should not have gone with a win in this one. Spoiler alert. So let's just hop straight into it. So we played Sicilian. Usually like against. So here's what I do against Sicilians in general. I go knight c3, and then whenever they move their knight out or go d6, I go bishop e5. And I trade off the bishop, usually. Sometimes, if they don't attack my bishop early enough, I just go c3, and then I bring my bishop back to c2, and it helps defend the e4 pawn and everything. But sometimes that doesn't happen. And so I try to go c3, d4 in the Sicilian, kind of like a Gyoko piano type of thing. But yeah, that's usually what I do. So e6, I go c3, all the stuff I was talking about, and then queen c2 to defend the pawn. Might look weird to some people, but I feel like it's completely normal. But now, since I put my queen on c2, now my bishop can't go on c2, unfortunately. That's how math works. But that's not math. But anyway, I take, and now these 2 doubled pawns actually remind me of a Budapest. The Budapest opening can frequently have, like, for black, they kind of double white's pawns like that, and then the c5 square in the Budapest is a really big square for black. But now, like, instead of white having the double c pawns, it's black that has the double d c pawns, and now I can utilize the c4 square without having to worry about it being kicked out by a pawn on b5. And then after e5, now no d5 is happening because I'm going to be taking en passant. So now really nothing can kick out a knight on c4. So that's the whole idea behind it. I don't know if it was a good idea, but I thought it made sense. Now, like, woohoo, yay! And then a castle, and then we develop D3. I didn't think D4 was a good idea because I want to keep their weakness there. But anyway, after castles, he goes F5, which I think was a really good move. I was really debating on whether or not I should take en passant. If I don't take en passant, and I was actually talking to this other guy about it, G5 is coming. Like G5 is straight up coming. This queen's my pieces are inactive and they're not poised to defend. G5 is gonna come. G4, F4. I mean, like, this is bad business. So actually, against what did I play? Oh, well, I played knight C4. So my idea was that against G5, I was probably either gonna play knight D2 or knight E1. Knight E1 possibly, and then try to go for F4, and then with the support of my bishop and the rook. So I thought that was a decent idea, and I thought I'd be okay. But yeah. But it is kind of scary though, because I did take en passant earlier, so now like black has free range. The thing is, black never went G5 though, and never went all in on the attack. So thankfully, I should say. Instead, we trade pawns, and now black is left with um, two isolated pawn islands, or two pawn islands, I guess you should say, an isolated A pawn and two isolated C pawns. So I felt pretty good about this at this point. F4, interesting move. So the idea is to win F5, F4, and the idea is to go F3 and try to crack open white's defense. But by playing F4, you're giving away control of the E4 square, and now my knight can hop in, and it's pretty active now. And I decided to play D4 at this point because I really need to get things moving. Like. Oh, right. I really needed to get things moving, was the idea. And, like, because I don't really have any play or counterplay at this point, because all my, like, avenues of, like, activity are kind of low, if you know what I'm saying. I don't know. But anyway, we trade. He goes F3, I go G3, and now it's, like, it's kind of scary if he can teleport his queen here, but it will take a few moves, and then I have enough time to go King H1, King G, King H1, King G1 to defend against the mate then on G2. Anyway, Bishop E7, and here I really wanted to just put my knight here and trade and everything, but I thought a good idea was to kind of be patient. So go knight D2 first, then go rook C1, and then take after trading the bishop for the knight. And so after H6, also I wish I'm kind of dumb. I did not even see knight G5. Knight G5, a really, really good move. Knight G5 because you're just threatening checkmate. And nothing black can really do about it except go G6. And super, super, super weakening. I mean, literally, look, if I did knight G5 to kind of force G6, I mean, look at this. Black has a light squared bishop, but has all his pawns on the light squares. While my bishop is a monster here. It's gonna come in. So, I honestly wish I did. Although, maybe the knight could come back here. I don't know. Oh, anyway. Sorry for the yawns. I'm really tired. Anyway, I did not see it, and he played H6, and then, however, I transposed to an endgame. So, after knight b4, I'm not really sure if there's anything else I should do. Maybe queen move somewhere, but instead we just trade. And he takes my a2 pawn. Now, this is a very key moment in the game. I wasn't really sure what to do. And I went rook c2, trying to defend this pawn and trying to defend this pawn from behind too. I was like, wow, this is gonna be a really good time. Then I went king b3, and after rook c8, then I realized, oh crap, this is not good. Rook c8 is actually going to be a very strong move, going to be winning the pawn. So I go king d3 to try and win the f3 pawn, and sure enough, that happens, and this is very scary. He's threatening rook c1 check, but then I can, and if I take, then he promotes, but I can block, thankfully, but then after he doubles, I mean, this is not good. But luckily, it's my turn first, so I preemptively go rook d1, and then after king f8, after the f2 pawn, I defend. Then I go king d2 to prevent any rook c1 business, because then I can, then I don't have to take. So if I take, he can promote, which is not good for me. So instead, he can just go here, and I literally can't do anything. So instead, we so instead, rook f1, go here. The idea is I want to go king f3, king e4, e3, and then king d3. But I can't, because he's gonna check me and make me move back and then win my pawn. So instead I go g4 to defend, to prevent any rook f5 business. But then he attacks, I defend, he attacks, I defend, he attacks, I defend. And then I take his b2 pawn, and at this point, this is where I'm like, okay, the tides are turning. I'm probably gonna win this game. He goes rook f6 check. Then I go rook e5. He goes rook king f7. Then I go king a1, and then after rook f2, it's pretty obvious that some of my pawns are going to be falling. So I go rook d. I go rook a7 first, then rook a6. Then after rook f4, I play rook d2, kind of keeping the d4 pawn protected, and while maintaining an eye on the f2 square, the perfect of both worlds. But then he takes my g pawn, and then I take his pawn, and then I move back, and I take his pawn, and then I move my king, and move, and move, and move, and then I promote, and then he resigns. So that was my final game. And to sum up the event, I would say that oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I would say that the first game I had a shameful loss. I'm not proud of. Second game I had a shameful one. I'm not sure if I deserved that. And the third game was by far the most interesting and dynamic one. But it's also one where I'm not sure my opponent was playing to his best, because he was just coming off of a game immediately before. So it's kind of tough to rebound. I would say. But anyway, I am super tired. I'm about to pass out. So I'm gonna have a good night's sleep. And you know what? You guys need to as well. See you guys.